Goku and Bulma had been traversing Diablo Desert at a more relaxed pace, since in this story, they actually had all of the Dino Capsule, Hoi Poi capsules to hand, and thusly, they weren't going to be affected with the likes of pesky things like dehydration or being stranded or what have you, and since there was really no sense of urgency right now, they could, in fact, relax a little bit. Bulma used this as the perfect opportunity to pull out a parasol, a deck chair, and a small mini fridge in which to just chill out and maybe get herself a tan. It was pretty sunny out. Goku, though, didn't initially understand the need to change your skin color like this or to sleep when there was no need to, but he did appreciate more the mini fridge. That was pretty cool, which also contained some snacks, as well as of course some drinks. This meant that Goku is not hungry at this time in the story. He's not full or fully satisfied, but he's good enough until they would make camp later on to actually have a proper meal. That being said, when he actually got to sit down on the ground, next to Bulma's deck chair under the parasol, pausing for a moment, for once, felt kinda nice. Perhaps lightening up every now and again was good for his soul. He was in the company of a partner who wasn't on his case all the time anymore. What Bulma had said to him was cool. She would stop trying to force him to change. That was what he needed to hear. So if he wanted to adapt himself to his surroundings, he would do so, on his terms, and if he felt like it. Right now, he kind of felt like it. That was until Yamcha shows up! Yes, he was more nervous to approach them since Bulma was there and he had his fear of girls, of course, but she was currently having a nap, so wouldn't be interacting with him. So he would instead go for a more sneaky-like method of getting what he wanted and avoiding her at all costs. It did help also that she had left her bag of stuff a fair distance away from herself and Goku. Puar was hissing that now would be their best chance to score some loot.
That boy looks very meek and feeble, Yamcha. You could take him if he causes a problem, I bet.
As such, Yamcha began to make his way over to the bag of stuff. It looked ripe for the picking, he thought. Perfect textbook maneuver of theft. That girl looked like the rich type, and so that bag was probably filled with goodies from the city that would either be great for their hideout and to stock up some supplies, or maybe sell for a mint to passing traders. They would make a killing. They wouldn't have to steal anything for months. He was counting his blessings as he got closer. But then a Goku got in the way. Well, I mean, I say got in his way, more like punched him backward 20 feet. When Yamcha got up and dusted himself off, he was trying to process exactly what had happened. There was no obstruction in the way, and he also couldn't remember bumping into a giant boulder, and why did his nose feel broken? Then the pain came over him, and he started to shriek with pain, which was loud enough to wake the young lass up from her nap.
What? What's going on? Goku, what's up?
She got up from her chair and saw the situation going down. Goku was standing firm, battle ready in front of her. And then in front of him was a disheveled-looking bandit with a floating cat, giving him medical attention. Yamcha hadn't noticed Bulma yet. He was too fixated on the guy who had punched him. But he did look nervous still.
Hey, what's the big idea, kid? Didn't your mommy tell you to respect your elders?
Goku shook his head.
Ain't got no mom. But you only get my respect if you respect me. And your power ain't getting my respect. It's getting its ass handed to it.
Yamcha was starting to regret stealing stuff from these guys. But he couldn't back down, not right now. He hadn't even shown off his skills yet. With Yamcha getting cheered on by Puar, he unsheathed his sword, he used to have one, remember, and began to launch himself in. Big mistake. With Goku's power level of 70 in this story, he completely wiped the floor with Yamcha. Not even his trademark Wolf-Fang fist could do anything against this kid. Yamcha was getting utterly and completely trounced. Yamcha was struggling to figure out what to do now. Goku was toying with him at this point, and he was even getting bored from the look of it.
Get out of here, you lowlife. You ain't touching our stuff.
Bulma was completely transfixed with what she was seeing and hearing, and with Goku's bravery most of all. Okay, He wasn't the most elegant and nice of individuals, but she did pick up on the fact that he had said our stuff, not solely his stuff. "Aw, you do care," she yelled to Goku, him turning around bemused. But Yamcha didn't use this as his chance to jump the kid, perhaps. It would have been a good chance, but no. He turned to face her as well and clapped eyes on her very nice-looking swimsuit, her long, flowing teal hair, radiant eyes, and beautiful voice. No. It was bad enough being pummeled half to death by a rump, but this? Oh man, she's hot! Let's get out of here, Poir! He grabbed his cat pal and just ran like the wind. Goku was confused. Had he just won the fight without the final blow? He looked back at Bulma, who was also befuddled with the outcome.
What did you do, Bulma?
She shrugged. I don't know. But she blushed a little.
The compliment was nice.
She twirled her hair. Goku then thought to himself,
What kind of technique is she holding out on?
but oh well. He had sent the bandit packing at least, and they could be on their way. So yes, like with Oolong, that's the last we see of Yamcha. At least for now. You might be beginning to see a pattern here, actually. This Goku isn't playing nice with other folk. He'd only just gotten to grips with working with Bulma. Others? Nah, that wasn't going to happen so easily. Yes, Bulma liked this to a degree, but she kind of found the bandit nice looking. And again, without the broken nose, he would have been a catch. At least a 7 or 8 out of 10. Nevertheless, the pair was still looking for Dragon Balls, and the next one was going to appear on Fire Mountain. With Goku not having Nimbus this time around, they don't try to reach the top of said mountain since, well, it was hot up there and they didn't really have a necessary means to get up there. However, them skulking around the perimeter of the mountain did attract the attention of the Ox King, like in the original story. With a roar that could be heard for miles, Goku felt that. This was the first time that Bulma could recall since meeting the kid that she had seen him remotely apprehensive about something. This was serious. Could this guy be a real threat to them wherever he was? The first one they had encountered since their adventure began? It was a lot to think about. Sure enough, the Ox King landed right before them after leaping from a great distance, Hulk style. He surveyed the double act closely, grunting while he did this. Whilst he did not wish to harm the girl, he stared beady-eyed at Goku and told him to leave this place. Goku, sure enough, as he always did, was posturing, grandstanding. He did not back down from this push, and, buoyed by his recent performance against Yamcha and him wiping the floor with him, thought that he could wipe the floor with this massive beastman, and so challenged him. The king, instead of being scared, simply sighed.
I usually don't wish to harm youngsters, but you're pushing your luck, punk.
With that, the fight began, and despite Goku's higher power level here, from the original, Ox King wiped the floor with him. Goku had no answer to Ox King's charge. Yes, folks, we're going with the movie 6 pamphlets 900 power level for Ox King. Yes, I know, it was most likely written down as a joke by Toriyama, but dang it! I can't get it out of my head. This is too compelling to ignore. I'm going to include this, since it was written down and overseen by the creator. There you go, just have fun with it, folks. This was a first, Goku thought. This was the first time in his small life that he was being outclassed by somebody. Grandpa Gohan had been stronger than him for a brief portion of his time on this planet, but this wasn't a case of being slightly more powerful, no. This guy was phenomenally more powerful. Bulma too was stunned and terrified. Her bodyguard and adventurer pal, who up until this point looked invincible, was now not looking so impervious. At the end of it, Goku was looking pretty rough. Ox was pulling his punches too. He wasn't using all of that 900 power level. He didn't need to. But then he spotted the power pole that had clattered to the ground nearby Goku, and so he halted his charge because he recognized it. Goku looked riled up and was actually kind of loving this despite being beat up and hurt, but he wasn't loving the cessation of said battle.
Hey! Why'd you stop, old man?
Ox looked ambivalent.
Who taught you to talk like that, son? It certainly wouldn't have been your old man. I know that pole there. It belonged to my friend Gohan. Where'd you get it?
Goku stopped. This guy knew Grandpa?
How'd you know the old man?
Ox sat, putting his giant axe down on the floor.
He and I were students of Master Roshi, you see. You can thank him for why I kicked your butt, kid.
The Ox King smiled, and Bulma's ears were burning.
Oh, Roshi. We just met him, mister.
Ox turned to her.
You have? Say, if you've met him, could you do me a favor?
He proceeded to ask the pair to go get the Bansho fan from Roshi. Goku looked surly at this request, though.
Oh, we gotta go back to that old codger.
Ox scowled at this.
What's the big idea, kid? Didn't your mommy tell you to respect your elders?
Why does everyone keep saying that?
Because it's true!
Ox bellowed. Just then, this caught the attention of one young girl, the Ox King's daughter, the Ox Princess Chi-Chi.
Daddy, what's going on?
She and Goku's eyes met. She blushed a little. This had been the first time, in a very long while, she had seen a boy in the flesh. Ox connected the dots, seeing them look at each other.
Oh no, no. My little girl doesn't date ruffians.
Daddy, he can't be all that bad. Give him a chance.
Chi-Chi walked up to Goku and outstretched her hand.
My name's Chi-Chi. What's yours, stranger?
Goku wasn't sure what to do with this, but then he clocked eyes on Bulma on his side, who was violently motioning to shake her hand. She was acting like a wing lady of sorts. Goku just about got what she meant and shook Chi-Chi's hand. Ox's brow eased. Good. At least he knew some manners. However, with no Nimbus, the three of them, that's Bulma too, had to go back to Roshi's via a different method. Luckily, since Bulma had all her dino caps, she had a small plane in which to traverse the distance. It was a bit of a tight squeeze, but the three of them could get in there. Ox also felt better with Chi-Chi going with them since Bulma, an older lady, was going with them. On the flight to Kame House, Chi-Chi asked more about Goku's past, and Goku kind of liked Chi-Chi. No, not in a romantic sense, no, but in a more instinctive sense. He felt things around her. Bulma sensed it too.
You're being awfully calm around Chi-Chi, Goku. Why's that?
It was quite strange for Goku to be so chill with new people. Chi-Chi piped up.
It's because he's a really sweet boy who knows how to treat a lady right. I bet.
Goku shrugged.
Well, it's more like I feel like you're not a threat.
Bulma and Chi-Chi looked shocked at that revelation, and the latter growled.
What? I am too a threat!
Goku shook his head.
No, you're not. You're pretty, though,
he said casually. Chi-Chi didn't know what to think about that statement, but they had no time to think about this further since they had arrived at Kame House. We come back to when Roshi, having to sit behind Goku to avoid his busy hands, was brought to Fire Mountain and proceeded to help extinguish the blaze. In the rubble, Bulma found the Dragon Ball. Great! Goku's also mesmerized by the Kamehameha in which he had seen. That's the thing that Roshi used to put out the fire. And the mountain. And in the story, of course, he still has his trait of mimicry.
Cleaning techniques!
And with his higher power, the resulting wave was good. Scarily good. In fact, it's enough to clear out a good chunk of rubble from around the area. And hit the plane that Bulma had used, vaporizing it completely. All three of the onlookers rounded on him. Even Goku looked taken aback at the power of it. He wasn't expecting that.
What the hell, Goku? Screamed Bulma. That's my means to get home! You're out of control!
Yes, she was going against her rumor of rolling along with the punches of Goku, but this was beyond the pale. Goku was genuinely apologetic, and he hadn't meant to wreck her ride or anything. Chi-Chi could sense this was a real apology too, and tried to back him up. But no, the grown-ups had seen enough. The two men deliberated, and Roshi was the first to spoke.
Kid, I can tell you're a little less rough around the edges since the last time I saw you. You got a ways to go. And now you somehow know my bread and butter attack? You need some schooling.
Grandpa can do it. I promise I will.
Ox shook his head.
Nope. Your power is far beyond what he can handle these days, so...
Without warning, Roshi then just gave Bulma the Dragon Ball. His Dragon Ball.
Huh? But why, Master Roshi? Goku hadn't done what you asked him of him yet.
Let my friend finish, Missy,
he said calmly.
Once you're done with your quest, you two, you are to report back here. And Goku, you're gonna become my student.
The kids looked surprised at this, but Goku was thrilled. This was a weirdly beneficial punishment.
Yes, teach me!
Ox looked serious though.
I'm not doing this out of kind, Goku, or for fun. I'm not one for violence usually, or martial arts these days. But your power is something that needs to be measured. That and you're a rude son of a gun. And I can tell that you like my daughter, and she likes you. And until you can behave and show some respect to folks, you ain't going near her.
Chi-Chi looked hurt at this.
But Daddy, I can...
No, Chi-Chi. This boy needs to learn more directly how the world works. He's a rough runt, this one. So I feel it's up to me to fix him up.
On one hand, this guy was the strongest guy he had ever seen. This would be fun to learn from the best, clearly, but on the other hand, he was going to have to be bent into shape and follow rules, something he absolutely abhorred. But the first hand was more alluring at this point. Goku reluctantly agreed to this, and as such, when Bulma and he were done searching for the Dragon Balls and returned to Fire Mountain, he would enter the tutelage of the Ox King. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now.